Like he cross in.
Chance outside the box. Cross, but played it through. Forward.
Anna in the middle. May nag-iba. Ooh! Nila Digger into the middle. Good for Sidel South.
For sure. So obviously you have the player like Abusi. Like he has. And a quick goal. While we're in this conversation, by number 26, Leo Gabriel.
And that was an early goal. Strategies, but they do identify those triggers and
A goal. It's that through ball. And once again,
he's been doing that a lot. Mid-conversation, he just makes that goal, try to get that ball.
cross in.
What
a header.
That diving header. Giving 5-0 for Cebu FC. In that celebration, they knew that that was a really fun shot, really fun goal from Cebu. Straight to the first post. And first to the ball was Cebu. Again, another header, a redirection, goes towards Cebu. And they just kick it towards the goal and it goes inside.
They moved Kaka over to the right with those adjustments we were talking about. Aspiras played it back. Chance outside the box. A banger here for the Aguilas. It's a goal.
What a shot. Top bins. Build up a play with Diego Aspiras getting that turn, getting that give and goal right on the top of the 18.
When you need a goal, who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Tomaray Sapal.
That's like Ghostbusters.
Here's that play that went on.
Give and go here, bang, bang, touch across.
One captain dispossessing the other. Counter-attack time, Young-suk. They didn't cross, but played it through. Oh my goodness!
Oh, what a goal! From an almost impossible angle. And I think that came from Yoon-soo Park, who's one of the defenders.
How do you define teamwork? And Diallo staying back as that defender. Again, earlier, he had the license to move forward. A chance here, no! And the Aguilas retake the lead. You can see the contrast of emotions.
Once again, finding his space in between the defense, Sapal being there the right time.
Mang maiba ng konti ni Coach Nerang approach ng Philippine Army. They may be using the similar formation here, but defensively and offensively, medyo may nag-iba. Ooh! Ooh! And that is earlier when I was mentioning na may konting pagbabago because in the previous game, Army kind of want to stick with a more tighter formation, but this time around, they have plenty of space. Tingnan mo yung gap sa pagitan ng bawat player sa loob. They have, kung mapapansin natin, nasa gilid na ng field ngayon si Ariola as opposed to what they were saying that he's gonna be the tip of the sphere.
And on the counter-attack is one Taguig. Oh, what a goal that is!
Let's have a look at it this way. Ayan yung takbo niya. You could see that the ball was well placed to just be in front of him.
He asks the hard question to Coach Scott Cooper. Should I take it? Here's the delivery. Oh! What a delivery there from Mark Hardman against Timor-Leste in the new Clark City Stadium on October 14th for the continuation. But before that, another goal for one Taguig FC, and what a goal that is. Brings it back to Yusuf. Ahmed Hajimari with the ball now. Back to Yusuf they go. Bias looks up, sends it forward. Header from Goldson. What a header again.
Of course, Armian, you can't really do that. But open your horizons to other Filipino players.
Look at this one. Ooh, Goldson scoring another goal against Philippine Army.
Highest scored game.
Goldson brings it down, shot.
And that's a check. Just delivered in that pass. And
Kira Schultz getting into the action, just coming in. Oh! Naoto Hiraishi.
he sees that he's not going to get challenged. He knows that he has the quality. And he also noticed that Bedia was a little bit too far.
Rack up the goals because goal difference is very important. Come championship round and there.
And it's a goal. Bottom left corner. And that is expected from him.
Yeah, there you see his trademark celebration, but there's no surprise. And was helpless there. Guessed the wrong way, and I think maybe even if he guessed the right way, it was. Or here it is again.
Great through ball. A chance here. A lot of grass. Takes it. And it's a goal. Been deadly with the ball. He sets his shooting boots and just slots it the right.
Attacking signings for Stallion in this season.
Speaking of talent, Galiana in the middle. And it is a goal. Gets it in.
Good work, good strength. The cutback was precise, and there's absolutely no way Sendra, a player of his quality, is missing that chance from there.
Great through ball. Takes it. Trying to look for Galiana. Oh, an easy tap in.
In a live game situation, it just amazes the fans out here and even us here in the commentary panel as the counterattack is on for today. And Manila Digger into the middle, good pass, and it's an opener. 2-0 in favor of Manila Digger FC. Counterattack for Sidel South. Oh! I'm stunned. Yes, you're stunned as well, Diego, but what a goal that is from Sidel South.
And so he'll have to keep a closer eye this time.
Oh, interception here today. One-on-one against the keeper and gets the game. But today, just taking advantage of the mistake of the back line. They swing the ball to the left for Sidel South. South with a 1-2. Great pass. Halike on the clear and a shot. Oh! Another one from that angle once again. This time from John Lloyd Halike. But from Inji, let's take a look at that again. What a shot from Halike there. Another good look from this vantage point. Just curling it out, top right corner. Shioka, good pass. Oh, great goal. Looking for Watanabe. Pass to Ture on the turn. Fakes it. Will he take it? And he scores.
Away with it. And then Halike pulls out another rocket right before halftime, and I was going absolutely crazy with Jamer. So this goal fest was incredible. And I think if you're Tuloy, you'll have to say that for the first half at least, they created chances when it was still scoreless. They could have taken the lead. Eventually, it was 5-2 at halftime. But at moments in that first half, they kept up with Manila Digger. They can score against these big teams. For Manila Digger, in second half, they just bulldozed their way through Tuloy, and it is kind of expected. You have their raw pace and power up against the Tuloy team, which is good in many aspects, but in terms of pace and power and height, that will obviously go the way of Manila Digger, and that's what they used for the rest of this match. In the end, it was an entertaining game from a neutral's perspective. There is probably some signs of encouragement from Tuloy if you look at the first half especially, and I think despite the scoreline, I think Tuloy will be happy with those 2 goals because those 2 goals were really something else.
Definitely a fantastic goal from Cyril Saud alongside Jomaray Sapal's goal. I would say those are the 2 contenders for goals of the week. Very tight one, but I would say the significance of Sapal's goal might give him the edge, but it's up to you guys to decide that. My question for this one is, Tuloy, they have a very structured approach. They're going to stick to their guns. so to speak. But one Jose Mourinho has this great saying that, you know, everybody has their ideas, but if you stick to your ideas and die, and that's kind of, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but it's stupid to die with your own ideas, so to speak, right? Do you think it's smart for Tuloy to just, you know, whatever happens, whoever we're up against, eto lang yung style of play natin? Or should they adjust accordingly if they're up against a team like Manila Digger, who is a title challenger?
Interesting, yeah. First is, I could still look at them at the developmental aspect, because when you look at them, everyone's saying it, bata pa rin sila. Pretty much like a youth team. The players are in their late teens or early 20s. So with what you said first, I think they can still trust the process here. As cliche as that may sound. But
Go ahead.
it is your Sunday football action right here in your 2025-2026 Philippines Football League season, as we are coming to you from the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium. A rainy day today. Let's see how that will impact our matchup. Of course, we've got Aguilas UMAK FC and Tuloy FC squaring off to open things today. This is Clara Manzano alongside Diego Cordero. A big thank you for joining us on the Facebook and social media pages of the Philippines Football League. It's a bit of a rain here, Diego, but you could argue, right, as we were talking about it, still a good day for football.
Yeah, and it means that above all else, it's not hot. So there's going to be a good slick surface on the pitch for this matchup and for our doubleheader today. But in general, it's going to be an exciting matchup between these two teams.
We're gonna get on, of course, and take a deep dive with our respective squads. But the standings are really starting to shake up, come to think of it. Some of the players here, of course, getting their reps in right before the game. So many players to highlight, come to think of it, for not just Aguilas UMAK. We've got an additional storyline, but also Tuloy FC, of course. But what are you expecting here?
Well, for Aguilas, it is start to the season. So they've lost 2 games and they've also won 2 games. But today is a chance for them to build some real consistency following 2 wins in a row. Again, they're coming off a really good 2-1 win against Maharlika. That was 2 weeks ago before the international break. So I'm expecting to see a lot of eagerness in their squad to continue this good form and to continue shooting up the table, because that's what they're doing at the moment.
you could say that was a difficult win for Aguilas, where essentially they did not play their game. But that speaks that speaks volumes about a team, right? If they are able to bag a win on a difficult day. But we are also going to talk about Tuloy FC in a bit, of course. But just so many players here whom we could actually highlight in this squad. But when we were going back with that, of course, that win of Aguilas versus Mahardika, their second of the season after taking a tough start versus the likes of Wantagig and Kaya, who wants to open your season right against high caliber teams. But with that, they have 6 points. Well, with Tuloy FC, they have 3. And with a win for Tuloy, that's gonna shake up the standings and just create that royal rumble of sorts in the middle. But if Aguilas do get a win, they're going to push things further and put more pressure on the higher ranked squad. So as we always say, it's big implications.
Yeah, today's definitely going to be a high-stakes match between these two teams. Again, two teams that had contrasting fortunes last time they both played in the PFL. For Tuloy, it was a tough loss naman to Manila Digger. But for Aguilas, just speaking on them at the moment, it's a chance now for them to really build some momentum. Again, the games will come thick and fast now that we finish the first international break. Their next game is also a favorable one against Don Bosco Girelli. So this is a chance now for Aguilas to put some real momentum behind this team going into the busy part of the season. And again, they are currently on 6 points, but if they get a win today, 9 points, that would be a really good standing this early on in the season as we see their starting lineup.
And they did as we saw, 4 changes in that lineup of Coach Frank.
Yeah, Coach Frank, of course, a really familiar figure in Philippines. Speaking of familiar figures in Filipino football, here is PFL veteran Arnel Amita, who we've highlighted as the player to watch. Experience with Kaya, Wantagig, and now the captain of Aguilas UMAK. He'll definitely have to have a good match today if Aguilas are to take all 3 points.
Don't forget about his AFC Champions League experience, of course, and even his caps with the national team. With this, of course, if the Tuloy boys want to play their game, they're gonna have to get past Kuya Nano, because he is essentially that central midfield. Nano will control the game, and if he does that, Aguilas, of course, will get an opportunity to come up with shots here and there. And with Tuloy, as we are going to get with them later on, of course, we can see who's actually going to be the man in charge of marking him, because I'd like to think they have a lot of players who have the speed to match with Nano. But of course, Nano with the experience. But we are going to take it to our coach interview for Aguilas UMAK FC.
2-3 go. We're coming into the match with a good momentum after the 2 straight wins. But we know Tuloy is very organized and young kids, and they play with energy. All we have to do is to do focus and discipline. Maintaining the standard and keeping our identity. The boys are motivated, and we have a week of sharp training, and we're ready for the challenge. Thank you.
There you go, Coach Frank Muescan, of course, in our pre-match interview. We're going to get with Tuloy FC for a while. With this, of course, Coach Frank's been around for a bit already here with this team. I'd like to see, and we'll talk about that later in the game, how much have they really overhauled that system of theirs, right? We'll get on to the X's and O's, of course, later on, but we are going to take it to Tuloy FC on the other hand after we just wrapped up Aguilas UMAK FC. Here's that squad of theirs, of course, still continuing to trust the process. Is it still the same name of the game for them, bagging experience?
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna stick with their philosophy as they have been doing this season. They're gonna play the possession style that we've gotten used to seeing from them. Again, it didn't really work out so well in their last outing against Manila Digger. They did concede 8 goals. But in the first half, it was actually 5-2. And there were moments in that game where it was actually closer than the scoreline suggested. I think for Tuloy, they will say that it's still early on the season. Let's stick to what we know best and play the way we know best as we see the results from the opening 4 games.
What's big here for Tuloy is that they already got to bag a win, and that was at the expense of Garelli. Because when I say that, you get to release or relieve that tension, right? Because if you're winless for a long stretch that really gets into you mentally. And then what more, it affects the way training goes. So at least these boys know, hey, may points na tayo dito. Medyo, hindi naman safe, but they're doing something right.
Yeah, and they have the 3 points already. Their first win is already checked off. And not only that, but in their games against Maharlika and for the first half, especially against Manila Digger, they scored goals. So that's something that we know they can do. They didn't score against Stallion, but they kept it close at only 2-0. So there are moments in their matches where you can say they do belong in the PFL. And they did not compete in the PFL last season, but it's good to see that they're back and they're making a statement for themselves.
It's a 4-4-2 for Japanese coach Taketomo Suzuki, and 3 changes made to the starting 11. The significant change, Michael Antilo Jr. now manning the posts.
Yeah, he wasn't there for the 8-2 loss against Manila Digger, but he's back now. He has been really crucial for the backline of Tuloy. He was very crucial in their win against Don Bosco Garelli, and also in that loss to Maharlika. He was a really good part of that performance, as well as their loss to Stallion. He did make numerous saves in those games.
The thing with Tuloy FC is that they're undersized, right? Kasi medyo bata nga yung mga player nila, but when there's Michael Antilo, of course, being a bit undersized also for his position, he has to use his athleticism. The saves are there, if you get me. Yeah, it's just, there's that flair, right? But when we talk about players to look out for, it's none other than their lead scorer, John Lloyd Halike. 4 goals for him so far in this season and counting.
Yeah, and definitely the brightest point of attack for Tuloy. You do say if there is goals from this Tuloy team, most of the time it will come through him, either through a goal or an assist. He scored a wonder goal against Manila Digger, and he also scored already earlier on in the season multiple times. He will definitely be the player to watch, especially for the backline of this Aguilas UMAK side.
John Lloyd Halike absolutely embodies that Tuloy grit in the PFL, because teams try to body them up and play physical. It's like they have that standard textbook. Kahit sino man yung kalaban ng Tuloy, they're gonna body them up. But John Lloyd Halike and the crew, they do not back down from any of those challenges. But to get more, of course, we're going to take it to our coach interview for Tuloy FC.
For today's game, especially against Aguila FC. So yung preparation namin more on discipline pagdating sa defending, and sa attacking same pa rin, walang nagbago. Then as much as possible, we will play on the ground. Kasi based of the opponent, medyo malalaki sila. Then kami yung mga height, yun yung mga disadvantage namin. So as much as possible, ikikip namin yung bola sa ground. Yun po. Thank you po.
There you go, a deeper dive on that Tuloy style of play. No points for guessing, of course. Ano yung pag-atake ng Tuloy sa mga laro nila?
There, it was mentioned quite straightforward actually that in terms of height and in terms of strength, they are disadvantaged against most PFL teams. And that's why they try to keep the ball on the ground and try to use pace and skill rather than pure physicality. For Aguilas naman, it will be their goal to use that side of the game to get over Tuloy. So it's going to be an interesting chess match between these two sides. Will it be pace and power, or will it be the intricate build-up of Tuloy that gets the better of the other team today?
Contrasting styles, we'll see which one will prevail. And, of course, we are aware that the Aguilas players are more experienced than these Tuloy boys, given that Tuloy, of course, these players are roughly in their early 20s and late teens. But, you know, I don't want to look too far ahead. I want to focus on what's up here in store. Look at this Tuloy team, even at least 3 years from now, 5 years from now, that is going to be
20.5.
There you go.
That's a very, very young average age. So just think about what they could do in a few years from now.
And of course, teams are now going to take it to the pitch in tune to the PFL anthem. Once again, it's Aguilas UMAK FC and Tuloy FC. Stay with us. back here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, and we are going to have our pleasantries with our team captains and match officials. We take a look at it, and si Meliton Pelayo, yung referee natin ngayon. Ang mga assistants niya, sila Kibin Anyola at Adrian Denise Gumtang, si Timothy De Castro. Ang fourth official, ang referee assessor si Ray Retaga, and our match commissioner is none other than Miss Ira Ilan. Two central midfielders, one more experienced, yung isa medyo bata pa. I think the future Philippine football is in good hands with guys like Naughty Nunez.
Yeah, the two captains there, the two number 10s, the two central midfielders. I think they've actually played together once before in the 2022 AFF.
That's right, yeah.
When Nunez was actually part of the national team then and played against Indonesia and Brunei. But nonetheless, we are just a moment away now from kickoff as we see the two teams get ready with their final team talks.
As we mentioned, Aguilas in a 4-2-3-1. Let's head over to Tuloy FC. It's a 4-4-2 for Coach Taketomo. Players to look out for, of course, there's Naughty Nunez, but we also highlighted further John Lloyd Halike, the leading scorer of this team. You would expect him to be the danger man.
Yeah, definitely. You do imagine that Halike will try to test the back line, try to pin himself up against especially the likes of Hancock, and he'll be the player to watch if you're a defender of Aguilas at the moment. But also watch out for Cyril Saud, who scored another wonder goal against Manila Digger last time out.
Some usual names actually in this Aguilas squad on the bench with the likes of Ruben Tira and Nauel Amaricha. But Diego Espiras will kick off this game. We are just about 10 seconds away. Things are done, of course, on the dot. It will be Aguilas in blue and red. Tuloy FC in white and gray. So glad you could join us again on the YouTube page of the Philippines Football League and also Facebook page. This is Claro Manzano alongside Diego Cordero. So Hancock at the moment, he's going to slide this. Both teams do like to play a similar style in holding the ball. So how do you sort this? How do they sort this out in the beginning?
Yeah, I imagine both teams will try to keep the ball on the ground for the opening moments. I do think that if you're Aguilas, you do have a bit more leeway in terms of going aerial like Hancock did there because they do have more height in their team, and I will especially watch out for set pieces for this matchup because Aguilas dominate in that regard.
In terms of aerial duels, of course, Rocky Grizola sent that to the side with his head, but it's looking dangerous behind Isa Diallo. Isa set this one low. Espiras couldn't get it. Back line in June, and it will go their way as expected. So, given that you're undersized as a Tuloy team, how do you deal with much taller opponents? Because it doesn't seem to work if you just keep jumping here and there, left and right.
Well, firstly, concentration levels have to be at 100% at all given moments. And at the same time, you cannot allow the game to become a pure strength battle. Otherwise, Tuloy is going to lose the game if that's what happens this afternoon.
Interesting. You're also highlighting the mental aspect also.
Yeah, definitely an aspect that is important. Again, they didn't do so well in that regard against Manila. There are a lot of errant play, and it led to a lot of conceded goals.
There's a long ball as expected. Cleared out by Cyril Saud, Takuya, amongst the Saud brothers. Here comes Pato or Cyril. Sent this one low. We've seen better from him, of course.
Yeah, Boubacar Diallo just reading the game well there, keeping an eye on his attacker, and the play restarts for Aguilas.
Diego Espiras took a fall. That's why Aguilas will resume this from the back.
Good play there from Espiras, just keeping the ball, using his body against 2 or 3 defenders, and he wins his team a free kick.
And Hancock took that quickly. Now to the right. Isa Diallo getting past one. Oh, this one rolled in front of the goal. Here's the save though by Antilio Jr.
Yeah, first involvement back in the lineup for Antilio, and there you see why he is the #1 goalkeeper for Tuloy. Good save to start things off. It's not easy, especially in this wet surface, to make that type of save.
I was saying also earlier, right? Smaller goalkeepers would have to compensate with their athleticism to add to the reflexes already.
Yeah, there you saw it from Antilio. A lot of flexibility, cat-like reflexes from that goalkeeper in green today.
And there's the athleticism, of course. Now, you don't say it's flashy, but it's a bit more eye-catching.
Yeah, definitely one for the cameras for those type of goalkeepers.
And if we're aware, of course, a retired professional football player, Nick Remando, in the MLS. A Filipino, but of course played in the USA, given that's his country of birth. Similar also, he's quite a highlight reel with his reflexes and athleticism.
Yeah, there are some famous goalkeepers around world football who aren't really the tallest, but can make up for it in other ways. Iker Casillas, for example, from Real Madrid.
Combinations here. Flag clearly down for Tuloy. Binalong taking on Palpalatok. Shot taken by Naughty. Off target though. And you could see the frustration from him.
Yeah, Aguilas calling for an offside flag that never came, and it's an opening for Tuloy. I think Nunez might actually be disappointed with himself because he had a lot of space there to take that shot.
Perhaps execution could have been improved there in that perspective. Cart slide it here to the back. Still want to go left. They triggered the foot race. Ibrahim Adamu. I'd like to think that's one of the ways also to beat a player who's much taller than you.
Yeah, good tackle there from Harian De Gracia up against the taller and much faster Adamu, but he wins that duel there on the ground.
Play this at the back. They'll try to create or punch holes in the defense, figuratively, of course.
Tuloy looking to play their usual style, but it's been nicked here.
Palpalatok's hustle, winning it on the left. They'll play this one back.
Yeah, Mita just acting as the team's metronome at the moment, speeding things up or slowing things down to his liking.
And Hancock as one of the center backs moving forward, and then the player staying back is Richard Talarok. So it's essentially, it's like they have an extra player in central midfield as opposed to a fullback in the wing.
And I do notice this thing about Hancock. He does like to go forward. He has already scored a goal actually this season. Can use his height in the opposite box as well. And I think he might try to do something similar also this afternoon.
We're aware he's a natural center back, but he did play in the holding mid position against Kaya. Even if they lost, he showed his ability to distribute the ball. Amita securing after Aspiras encountered resistance. One here by Pato. Couldn't secure though, Isa was there. Aspiras once more.
Yeah, just noticing this thing about Aspiras. Very tight in possession, good in tight spaces. Definitely a weapon for Aguilas.
Diagonal ball. Just off though. That would have been quite a play, of course, if they got to connect.
Yeah, I think the slick surface just making the ball a little bit slippery, so it's a bit harder to control these types of diagonals at the moment.
We have some showers here. Not too hard though. But of course, that changes up the conditions nonetheless, especially for our keepers.
Yeah, just have to be careful. Stuff like this could be problematic for goalkeepers if it's a wet surface, but actually Antilio does really good there to keep that in his grasp.
It seemed very interesting. He did not meet the ball up top, but met it on the ground.
Good agility and cat-like reflexes once again from Antilio, as we mentioned earlier, and good passing between the lines there.
Alike dropping down to help. Nunez.
And this is where Tuloy want the game to be, on the ground and in their pace. Chance may be here.
Saud. Alike. Saud was dropped on the ground. Rizola. Taking it to Cyril Saud. Cutting inside. Options ahead of him. Shot from distance over the bar. Iko Mangawang saw that was out.
A good moment there from Cyril Saud. Just driving into the space, and there was actually a pocket there that he went unchallenged. So the shot was on. Unfortunately for him, it's way over. But another good moment there. Flash of inspiration from Tuloy.
Iko Mangawang again manning the posts here for Aguilas. He was the goalkeeper in that 5-0 win of theirs versus Army FC. That's actually their lone clean sheet at the moment. That win over Maharlika again was 2-1.
Again, Iko Mangawang, another one of these players to make the transition from UAAP now to the PFL. Of course, formerly with LaSalle.
Former captain also of that squad. Things getting physical. Corner kick here, according to our linesman and Militon Pelayo.
First corner kick for Aguilas, and this is where they can make advantage of their height, I'm sure that Coach Frank and the rest of the Aguilas coaching staff will have pointed and highlighted that set pieces as one of their most advantageous areas for this matchup. Let's see if they can take advantage of it 8 minutes in.
If you have the Saud brothers playing for Tuloy, don't you forget, wag natin kalimutan, we have the Talarok brothers.
Yes, that's right.
Playing for the Aguilas. This is going to be an in-swinger though. Only Cyril or Pato Saud is not in the goalkeeper box for Tuloy FC. He's lurking in the half line for a potential counter. Here comes the in-swinger going for the back post. Hancock! Oh, just when he thought it was good. That's the hustle of Tuloy that we're talking about. Shot from distance. Off target there.
Yeah, Hancock, he has already scored from a corner kick this season, nearly getting his second corner kick goal there, but the clearance off the line keeps it scoreless. Let's see the replay. Good header down into the ground by Hancock, and it was on target, but the clearance was made at the last moment.
It's different when you have your shot cleared at the goal line, of course. Aspiras trying to connect. Couldn't do so. De Paula. Card. Thought about it with his left. Plenty of power. Shy, though, of the near post.
Yeah, good sustained spell of pressure right now from Aguilas. Last 2 minutes or so, they've tested the backline of Tuloy. At the moment, this is encouraging signs for Coach Frank of Aguilas. I think he'll be wanting more of the same for the rest of this match.
Coach Frank, very experienced, also has that AFC club football coaching stint. That was with United City.
I believe Coach Frank also was an assistant in one of the AFF tournaments not too long ago, so he also has that in his locker. Definitely adds a lot of knowledge to this Aguilas team.
Hancock from Mangawang. And as we were saying with Mangawang, do you say similar CV? Former LaSalle player, also a captain, goalkeeper. Someone maybe a generation ahead of him, Patrick Tato of Kaya FC Iloilo.
Yeah, actually very similar career paths for those two goalkeepers.
Same high school, come to think of it. LaSalle Zobel.
Of course, Zobel, one of those football factories that we know of in the national scene.
Pato. Got to thread the needle. The thing here with Tuloy is that when they have to escape danger, they don't just hit the panic button. They string passes like these, and they can essentially create or lead to build up in the midfield. And as you see, they win a foul.
Yeah, the two number 10s clashing there, and free kick to Tuloy. That's the thing about Tuloy. They don't panic, as you mentioned, Claro. They don't just hoof the ball forward. They try as much as possible, and most of the time they make it possible to play out on the ground, to play through their opponents or around them, and they did so there to escape the pressure from Aguilas. Let's see what they can do from this free kick.
It's a bit standard already, right? In modern day football, passing it out of the back as opposed to just clearing it out every single time.
Yeah, you can see the Japanese influence also in this Tuloy team. Although the coach Taketomo Suzuki of Japan is not on the touchline at the moment, he does have his imprint on this team for sure.
We did see him though earlier, right before the game. He's letting one of his assistants, of course, man the bridge or the technical area. And I will say also, there was that game of the national team, the Philippine men's national team in this very stadium against Macau. You know, when football was still developing, and rather than just clear the ball, that young team opted to pass the ball out of danger, and it resulted into a cheer from the crowd as if they won a penalty. That was the level of excitement. But Philippine football has really gone leaps and bounds. Cleaned up, Aguilas bring it up now, quickly. There's the slippery conditions again, an extra challenge. But our two teams playing in the same conditions. De Paula. Now it's them who will execute. It's a bit of the my turn, your turn here. Tuloy and Aguilas getting decent spells of possession.
Yeah, possession currently with Aguilas. Let's just see if Tuloy are able to contain them in this deeper shape. Again, they weren't able to do that against another big team in Manila Digger. So far, though, in these opening 12 minutes, they've been able to keep their shape and not concede too much space like they did against Manila Digger. So for the past 12 minutes or so, I think the coaching staff of Tuloy will be happy.
But of course, they'll only be satisfied after the full-time whistle at the 90. Flag is raised here though for Adamu Ibrahim.
Yeah, actually a good offside trap there from Tuloy. I just saw the moment before that pass was played. I saw the two center backs of Tuloy just take one step up. That is a drilled offside trap from the Tuloy side. And they do this in all their games. They try to play offside trap when possible. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it also does work like it did there.
Over in the right wing. We did see that Denmark Oracoy got dispossessed. And here comes a wave now from the Aguilas. Card still taking on Oracoy. Will knock it back to Amita. Nano. Hancock.
This is a good shape from Tuloy, just not allowing too much space in their own half, and they force Aguilas back. They'll be happy with that. Coach Frank was actually mentioning to his coaching bench right now, he's mentioning also just to speed up the play a little bit and to get the ball directly into the box. Again, Adamu towers over the two center backs of Tuloy.
Speed up the play so that the defense cannot recover. Hancock. Amito's calling for it. But you see the positioning again of the Tuloy boys. Shirtalarak to Ikong Mangawang. Getting that extra man at the back.
Yeah, Mangawang just looking for Cart at that instance, but overhit and the ball goes back to Tuloy. You can see Mangawang is a very aggressive goalkeeper. He's really far from his own penalty area. I think that's the instruction from Coach Frank at the moment.
Mangawang can also boot it long. You could say to the international standard of goal kicks.
Yeah, I do remember when he played for LaSalle, he did have a really good goal kick on his locker.
Here's a cross, dangerous area. Still not contained. Aspiras put it back into the danger. Isa shoots with his left, but he saw that was off target already from our vantage point.
Yeah, Grizola having to do a lot there because that was a good chance for Aguilas for them to take the lead. Unfortunately, for their sake, it just goes wide. But that's a warning sign for Tuloy that they have to be more careful in these one-on-one scenarios.
But here's the press quickly off the goal kick. Cart shoots, doesn't score.
Well, block from Harin De Gracia, and the counter is now on for Tuloy.
There's that split second where the defense got to recover. And Aspiras and Amita will slow it down. But Cart and Hancock were telling them, play it forward already because of the situation up front. A bit of a slip and slide for Isa. No sliding around though when he has possession. No angle there, and it was secured by Michael Antilo Jr.
Well, Isa Diallo is really testing the backline of Tuloy in these past minutes. Good thing there for Tuloy that Antilio was alert to that cutback.
Tuloy flirting with some danger because of this pressure of the Aguilas. Oh, plenty of holding here and there. A pull of the jersey. Hancock cleaning up at the back. That was against Levi Sahor. Levi Sahor oftentimes someone who would come off the bench.
Yeah, given the trust now to be in starting 11, has a lot to do though in this lineup because he's up against the very physical Hancock, and you saw Hancock there just expertly reading that play, cleaning up that pass from Tuloy. And anyway, good past 5 minutes for Aguilas. You can see that they sense that if the first goal comes, it will probably come their way at the moment. Of course, Tuloy can respond to that.
Just going back with Levi Sahor, people may be wondering, why is he getting the start? He already got to prove himself in the Copa 2 years ago. Back the man of the match performance. I believe that was a brace.
It just speaks of the talent in this Tuloy team.
Aspiras will go for Isa once more. He's been the danger man. Got past 2. Took the shot. Essentially couldn't make it past 3. Once again, you could say Tuloy playing with some fire.
Yeah, that's now multiple times where Isa Diallo is really testing the back line. Oh, chance maybe here though.
Counter-attack time. Ball over hit for John Lawrence Benalong.
But for Aguilas, it seems that their best outlet is Issa Diallo. And the fullback, Grizola, has to be really careful because that's now multiple times where he's been beaten by his opposite winger. And he had to be bailed out by Antillo there, who also dropped the ball for a split second. I think that might just be the surface playing into this game.
We all have to wait for a moment with that uncertainty. Is it in? Is it out? Is he going to get it? Is the ball just traveling upwards? There you go again. Issa Diallo. Off the woodwork here. Man, that's gotta hurt for Richard Talarok.
Well, there's not much more Richard Talarok can do there. Very unlucky. And the follow-up, even more unlucky, bounces straight to the goalkeeper. But Aguilas will feel that at the moment they should be 1-0 up. Tuloy get off without being punished there, but that's another warning sign this early on.
That happens, as we know, right? There are rare instances I'd actually see attackers just walk into the goal and bring the ball in. But when you're point blank, there's a reason why you expect it to go in. That's gotta hurt here for the Aguilas, especially with this dangerous counter now for Tuloy. Numbers do not favor them. Very routine for Mangawang. It was sent straight to him from Sahor.
Yeah, the game opening up now, but on that chance from Richard Talarok, while he did hit the post, it was a very good run from him and a very good pass also from Issa Diallo. Once again, everything good from Aguilas. A lot of it is coming from Issa Diallo.
But as we try to, let's cut that thought first. It's cleaned up at the back by Harin de Gracia. But just with that thought, right, to wrap up this story of Iko Mangawang, even when he was with LaSalle, he got to assist the goal after booting it long from just outside of his box.
Yeah, very good distributor of the ball, itong si Mangawang.
Now they'll roll the dice on the left. Inside, it's good. The Aguilas bury it 1-0 in the 20th minute. You could say to the joy and to the relief here of the Aguilas and Ibrahim Adamu.
Yeah, they've been knocking on the door really hard for the past 10 minutes or so. Adamu, their top scorer, already has a hat-trick this season, gets another to his tally, and that was too much power for Antillo. I think the surface, or the wet surface, didn't help him there because the ball just went through his grasp. I think he got a touch on it also, but in the end, it's Adamu with the celebration, and it's 1-0 to Aguilas UMAK FC after 20 minutes. Here's the replay. Good strength from Adamu up against his defender. And again, the shot, too much for Antillo. He did get a touch on it, but the power from Adamu was too much.
Got that to go inside the near post. Here you go, quad vision.
A good finish from the striker. Again, that's what you want from your striker, to get on the goal tally as much as possible. And I believe he's now on 4 goals this season. And that's a good tally after only 5 games.
Quad vision replay, of course, showing us that. Quickly. Kita natin, medyo alanganin doon yung bola para kay Adamu. Napalpalatok. Got his pocket picked. Nano did enough to delay things. He's also a pickpocket of his own with his peskiness in the midfield. Tuloy will slow it down and play that numbers game altogether. No numbers on the left. They will reset.
Aguilas have done well here just to get back in numbers and make the pitch more compact, and they're going to force Tuloy back. So that's good defensive work also from Aguilas.
Sarud Saud will get the extra man with Antillo Jr.
Tuloy are down to 10 men at the moment also because there's a player receiving treatment.
That's right. It looks like that is Rocky Grizola. So essentially, they do not have their fullback. And then you do see Pato Saud dropping down. Quite the hustle right there from Pedro De Paula, the 25-year-old Brazilian. His previous stint in Kyrgyzstan.
Not too sure what happened to Grizola because he's still retrieving treatment. Okay, he's back on the pitch now. But at the moment, it's going to be Aguilas who are the happier of the two teams. Again, you do sense that they are the ones winning all the duels.
Harsh there, as you saw. No more welcome to the PFLs here, though, for Tuloy FC. These boys already very experienced.
Of course, a lot of these players while Tuloy wasn't in the PFL last season, a lot of these players were with the PFF youth national team, so they still got experience through that front. And that's why you can see that despite their young age, they are already experienced in this level.
But nababad sila, of course, as they'll knock it to the left. Carr calls for numbers to join him in the attack. 3 targets to connect with. Well, he was just swarmed there by Harin de Gracia and Noti Nunez. It's really that team effort with Tuloy FC. When they have to defend or someone loses the ball, they're going to go and help you as a pack. Hancock winning this one versus Sahor. Pushed him all the way here. Seems like Hancock knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that's not twice that Hancock and Sahor have gone for 50-50, and both times it's been Hancock to win that duel. Really good involvement there from the Australian center back.
De Paula. Richard Talarok. Nano dropping down. He looked to facilitate.
And just speaking of Nathaniel Hancock, one of these really good signings now for Aguilas UMAK. I think he played previously in, of course, in the previous ranks in Australia. Now I think he also had the stint in Dubai or somewhere else in the Middle East, but he's now with Aguilas.
Trying to play this one. Naughty. He's got a man on him though. It's almost won by Diego Aspiras. They're trying to pocket Tuloy. It's won by him. 1 and 2 though. Non-call there, or no whistle.
A good pressure nonetheless from Diego Aspiras. Nearly winning back the ball in the opposition penalty area.
On the right now. The overlap once more from Richard. And cleared off by Naughty with a back heel.
Well, you can see their philosophy in action there. Can they, however, go the other way? Because at the moment, a lot of what Tuloy have been doing has been in their own half. So I think Mangawang is still yet to be really challenged by this Tuloy side. Tuloy will want to change that up for the rest of this matchup.
Sekou Cisse and his Manila Digger teammates coming in now, or entering here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. They will be playing later on. 25 minutes already done and dusted. It's your Philippines Football League action. We are coming to you from the Rizal Memorial Stadium. So glad you could join us once more on our Facebook and YouTube pages alongside Diego Cordero. This is Claro Manzano. It's Tuloy now, getting forward after having to do some defending. The floodlights now on here. Halike knocked it back. Returned it to him. Runs into a wall.
Good defensive work there from Hancock and Diallo. Chance maybe here for Aguilas.
It's looking dangerous. Cart, does he have an angle? Not the case. It was stopped by Siron.
Yeah, unselfish there from Cart, looking for his teammate rather than going for goal. In the end, it pays off into nothing as Tuloy have another counter-attack.
It's the most exposed we've seen Tuloy's defense in this game so far. Halike, also very calm with the ball. They'll bring it back to their main playmaker, Naughty. To the right, the Nalong. There's John Diaz also ahead, but the pressure is being piled up here. Dummied by Halike. Let this one go to Pato. You see the size difference there. This is what we were talking about. Teams just exerting or using their physique over Tuloy.
Yeah, there you saw it there. It was Isa Diallo tracking back. He is an attacker, but he was helping out defensively there, and the strength, there's too much there for Cyril Saud.
Almost at the 30-minute mark already. The Aguilas with a goal. It's courtesy of Ibrahim Adamu again. As we mentioned, you expect the same flow in this game, Jago, heading into halftime.
Well, at the moment, it's Aguilas who are creating the best type of chances, or the most high-quality chances. For Tuloy, and there's still a lot of minutes left in this matchup, so there is still time for them to respond. They did have a similar start also to Manila Digger. They went behind first. I think it was 2-0 before they eventually scored. And they do have an uphill battle for them, but it is not an impossible scoreline.
Aspiras to the right again. Isa. Cutting inside. Tight space. Shoots. Aspiras denied at the bottom corner though.
Aspiras going for position rather than power. Looking for the bottom corner, but it was too close to Antilio. And that's why it stays at 1-0 at the moment.
Halike. The rain just, or the showers just slowing down a bit. Rocky Grizola.
Again, for Tuloy, a lot of their possession has been in areas like this. Can they go forward to the midfield third and to the final third with this type of possession? Because at the moment, Aguilas have been really good defensively.
Hancock won this for them. That's why he's the man getting forward, giving them the numbers and height advantage. Cart through the middle, mastering the conditions. Angle gets clamped again. You gotta credit the effort of Siren Saud.
Yeah, for a moment there, it looked like Cart was through and open, but eventually tracked back there. And Tuloy, maybe can they spring a counter here?
The ball was trying to be tricky. Foul whistled here. And Pato Saud running into Diego Aspiras.
Of course, Diego Aspiras really familiar with this Tuloy team. If I am not mistaken, he played with some of them when he was with the Philippine Youth National Team last season.
He did reach them at the tail end of the 2024 half of the season. That's right.
So he is familiar with this Tuloy side.
During the game, of course, friendships put on hold. Not over, but put on hold.
Of course, Diego Aspiras and the like of the Tuloy team. Promising youngsters in Philippine football. I'm sure they'll also be playing with the SEA Games squad back in their mind. Can they maybe play themselves into that squad for the latter part of the year?
That's right. Pretty much, or almost everyone in the Tuloy squad eligible to play for that team. Bully ball from Hancock. Just a two-way player here. They're getting numbers in the middle, and they give it away just like that. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, but good involvement there from Hancock. That's now the second or third time he's done that, won the ball back and ran up like a striker. Maybe it's a way for Tuloy to counter though if the center back is not in his usual position. At the moment though, Aguilas really dominating this game in terms of position and territory. Chance maybe here though.
It's on to the right. Denied by Mangawang. I think that was bound for the top corner.
Well, Halike picks up the ball way downtown, but he takes the strike, and from that distance, you have to get it absolutely perfect, and it nearly was, but that's a really excellent save from Mangawang. Here is the quad vision replay. As you said, Clara, it probably was flying into the top corner. Really good strike from Halike, and an even better save from Mangawang.
I'm gonna have to say, from way downtown was the right way to describe it. Well, Mangawang, the less busy keeper in this game so far. Well, you could say Aguilas relieved that they lead 1-0 at the moment, as you got to see also on our screens. 14 minutes and change remaining in the first 45. Played short by Tuloy, given that they're at the disadvantage in terms of ceiling. Coach Frank and his assistants or his staff conferring in the technical area.
Well, Mangawang has been largely uninvolved in this first half, but good save there, and maybe a counter here for Aguilas.
Won by Amita. Plenty of space to operate. Gets it from behind. Clipped though on the left leg. Outside of the box, so it is going to be a free kick.
A powerful running there from Amita, and it looks like he might just need a little treatment here because he did get a physical tackle to end that run.
And that was at full speed. Oh, it's the ankle here from what I saw.
Chance here for Aguilas now, but they'll be hoping that their captain is okay after that challenge. He is receiving the magic spray, as we call it.
You see this with Amitas and the different levels of Philippine football. As he runs through the siblings. I think he's going to be good, knowing him, of course. With that, you saw Nano, he was facilitating at the back along with Depola, because he had the likes of Isa Diallo, Cart Talarok facilitating on the wings. Also had Richard Talarok. Amita had that opportunity. Just getting it in midfield. Came up with a very promising opportunity. The Tuloy boys send their apologies, of course. They almost did get the ball there, I will say. But glad that Nano's okay. We saw the thumbs up from the physio staff of Aguilas.
And back onto this chance. After all that, it was a very good free kick position for Amita to win a foul. And it's going to be a good chance here for Aguilas. Antillo's going to have to organize this wall to make sure that this doesn't fly into the net. But it looks like it's going to be, or there are two players standing over the ball. Let's see which one takes it.
I will also say you see plenty of creativity from Japanese mentor teams when it comes to defending or taking free kicks. But just the standard being done here by the boys of Coach Taketomo. Two players standing up to the plate. Taken and in. It's good for Cart Talarok.
Yeah, wow, free kick from Cart Talarok. Going into the far corner rather than near post. And Antillo was caught completely flat-footed, and that's why it's 2-0 to Aguilas UMAK FC. They'll be really happy. And credit should also now go to Amita for winning that free kick earlier on. But it's a perfect free kick from Talarok, and it's now 2-0.
Winning a free kick or a penalty, a virtual assist as we know. Cart Talarok gets one on the board. Here's another look. Taken with his left.
Antillo just anticipating that the ball would go the other way. So when it went to the far post, it was completely motionless, and that's why it flew into the top corner. I do say though, even if he predicted that the ball would go there, it was really far into the corner, so I'm not sure that he would have had a better chance even if he guessed the right way.
Pressure once more. Aguilas definitely in the driver's seat now. Pressure being put up. The probing run from Ibrahim Adamu.
Yeah, really relentless pressure from Aguilas. Not happy with the 2-0 scoreline. They want to get more. And they want to get more goals. So they're going to continue that high press.
They're a bit free now though. Diaz, Pato. Trying to get past Richard Talarok to be precise. Amita to support. They won it with their numbers there, but it was gifted to John Lloyd Halike. Shot though came off of Depola.
Yeah, Halike going for another long strike. This time it's out for a corner. Tuloy, I think when they went 2-0 down to Manila Digger, they responded right away. So let's see if they can emulate that type of response. Now 2-0 down to Aguilas UMAK right 10 minutes before the halftime ends.
In that last game of theirs, of course, it's definitely unideal that they let in 8 goals. But there's the positive, right? They did get to score 2. Those goals were almost like carbon copies also of one another, showing the technical ability of these young players.
Looks like Tuloy will go short once again, as you mentioned earlier, because of their height disadvantage.
Trying to cause havoc inside the goalkeeper area. Cleared off though by Palatok. Tuloy's numbers, of course, pushing Aguilas down. They've really been more dangerous on the left, but perhaps some flexibility on the wings could help the attack. It's with Nunez now. He'll test Mangawang. Off target though, but too close for comfort.
And Mangawang actually scrambling across his goal line there. It was a good cross or shot, I'm not too sure, but it actually also nearly found Halike. Nevertheless, Aguilas escape, score still intact, or clean sheet still intact rather. Here was the replay. Might have been a cross actually looking for Halike, just a bit too far. Nevertheless, it's still goalless for Tuloy.
Also, don't you forget about the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup that will take place right here in Metro Manila. Go to FIFA.com/tickets for more information.
Yeah, that's right. I believe all the games will be in Ultra in Pasig.
Sports, that's right.
So all the games in an accessible area.
You love that bargain with the day pass. Get one ticket, you could spend the whole day right there Catching some quality futsal action from the finest in the world. Still hard to believe. I get goosebumps saying that. Through the middle they go. Clever ball. It went the way though. Palpalatok eventually. He put himself in the right place. Don't you forget also that Sports Stripes, the official match ball of the Philippines Football League. Also, give us a follow on TikTok _ we are PFL _.
Looks like at the moment, Isa Diallo has just switched sides. So adding a little bit of unpredictability for this Tuloy backline to deal with.
There'll be a bit more patience given they have this 2-0 luxury. Tuloy, as expected, putting up a press. Getting through. Richard couldn't get it to Diego Aspiras. Saud. Rizola. Let's see, Diaz released it to Pato Saud. They can carry on traffic now right to left. Nunez. Other than Nunez and Amita being teammates at the 2022 ASEAN Championship, Nunez did get caps or appearances. Oh, it was no good there for Binalong.
Half chance there actually for Tuloy because they were pushing back Aguilas and they had numbers in that attack. I think that they might be a little bit disappointed that they didn't generate a cross in that instance. Maybe they can do it here though.
Halike dropping down to play the false 9. Mito will collect, but in a difficult spot. Nano over to Bobakar. You just see a bit more of the flair and purpose from Aguilas when they're passing now as compared to Tuloy. Aspiras and Cart here. I believe they wanted to get it to Cart Talarok.
Yeah, Aguilas had numbers there, pushing back Tuloy, but the pass was misplaced. Game actually becoming a little bit back and forth these past few minutes.
Things opening up. Both teams will try to sneak in another goal right before halftime. From distance, Palpalato denied.
A good save from Antillo. Safe hands from that long shot. Game just opening up. Last few moments, it's been back and forth. I think Tuloy might just want to slow the game down a little bit because it has been a little bit wild and their backline has been vulnerable multiple times in the past few minutes. So I think, and that's what they're doing now, they're going to slow the game down just a little bit. But again, they are behind, so the onus is on them to speed things up.
Ibrahim Adamu scored the first goal of the game again also. Cart Talarok made it 2-0, converting a free kick, which Nano Amita won on the counter. Possession at 57-43. It was much more even earlier. Things just evened out with Aguilas taking this game by the horns.
Yeah, again, two sides that want to dominate possession, so it's no surprise that it's quite close actually coming into the halftime.
Come to think of it also, Tuloy playing a 4-4-2 as we mentioned. It's often a formation that gets you the ball up quickly as opposed to possession where maybe you'll use a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. Interesting that they're playing that formation, but playing possession.
Actually, speaking on that, I believe I see that there's the Tuloy substitution getting ready down in the technical area. So let's see what type of change this makes. It's Lupanco coming on.
Justin Lupango will enter. Interesting that they're making the change now as opposed to halftime because this is a substitution window that is going to be burned.
Do wonder if it's injury related because it is, as you mentioned, just a few minutes until halftime. But it's going to be Sahor coming off.
Sometimes coaches just need to make that change, of course. If you're down 2-0 at the half, that means things are not going your way without a doubt.
Well, interestingly, Sahor has gone straight into the locker room. So if it is injury related, that would also make sense. But if it was tactically related, would make sense also because of the scoreline.
The one thing is, he exited the pitch on his own without any assistance. He did not spot any limps. So there's still the possibility it's tactical given that they trail 2-0 at the moment. We have the whistle already. Hancock, of course, just plays it back. There's now the luxury of the Aguilas to manage this one at the least.
Yeah, they now have the luxury also of being able to wait and lure out Tuloy to their liking because of the safe scoreline that they hold. And it just means they can play with a little bit more freedom than their opponents.
And sometimes that can lead to more goals, as we know.
Yeah, I'm sure the message from Coach Frank will be that they're in a really good position, and the only thing that could get them at the moment would be complacency from their own ranks. So concentration levels still have to stay high, but at the moment they'll be really happy with this lead.
The goal difference also factor here for any tiebreakers. So, as you know, in any game with the team leading, they are cautiously going to look for more goals.
Yeah, again, this season will be a very long season with a lot of games. So if it does come down to goal difference, it would be a good tiebreaker to have in your favor.
Remember, again, it's essential for teams to make it into the top 6 so that they could compete in the championship round. This one won. Amita charged with a foul. He clipped John Diaz. Oh, yellow given to Nano.
And I believe that is the 18th yellow card for Aguilas for this whole season. That's quite a lot, actually, for only 5 games. But it was a late tackle on John Henson Diaz, who is, I believe, the youngest player in the PFL also at 18 years old. That's according to our transfer-marked Warriors, so shout out to them also.
Massive job, of course, that our friends, the community, do contribute to transfer-marked. Wouldn't work like that. Nano gets into the books.
It's actually a similar position to where Aguila scored their free kick. So let's see if Tuloy can emulate that. It looks like Halik is standing and lurking around the ball, or he goes away from it now. So it's going to be one player standing over the ball. Chance here before the halftime.
It's a bit hard to pick who's going to take it for Tuloy because everyone can do it. 3 minutes of additional time as confirmed by court official Timothy De Castro. Rain intensity just going up by a bit as compared to earlier when we kicked things off. Siron South donning the number 8 will take this. Takes it with his right and low off of Aspiras, and it will be a corner kick.
I think he was just trying to catch the wall off guard there. No, there was no player lying down behind the wall, which we see from Europe and from other football games. So he tried to go under and through. In the end, though, it was a good block from Aspiras. For Aguilas, you want to reach halftime with a clean sheet, because if you concede right before halftime, it's not the ideal time to concede, and it would give some momentum back to Tuloy.
And sometimes it's when the entire wall jumps and the ball slips right through and into the goal. 1 minute done and dusted in additional time. 2 remaining. Came off though, an Aguila. Aspiras though got dispossessed. South.
Tuloy have around 2 minutes now just to get a goal back, but have to be careful not to make it 3 for Aguilas also.
Played forward now. Lupango. He was inserted again about 5 minutes ago. This one headed back to Mangawang. Bubakar Diallo on the same page here as his keeper.
Yeah, those backwards headers, you have to be very careful with those, but he pulled it off well there.
Bit of the fake from Hancock. Paula. Knock it to the left and back. Ngawang sending it to Amita after it was passed back by Bobakar.
Great pass from Mangawang. And good touch also from Amita.
Technical ability from everyone in the back. Saud got it back into the middle right before the forwards of the Aguilas could swarm him. So plenty of sliding again due to the conditions. Cleared off by Iko.
Another good pass from Mangawang. Twice in 2 minutes. Really good distribution from the goalkeeper.
Amita calling for it. Wide open on the other side. Oh, this was flicked. It's still in. I did not see the flag raised though. Perhaps that was outside, yes, because it's a throw in. Then we have the full-time, or not full-time, but halftime whistle, of course, right here. After we've seen quite a lot here. But it is 2 for Aguilas at the moment, 0 for Tuloy. We'll be back later on, and we'll just take this break.
Thank you all for coming today and encourage you to visit our official Facebook. Please forget the next business on the Philippines Football League with the handle @PFL. For more details on the Philippines Football League 2025 winning season.
Currently at the halftime break right here between Aguilas UMAK FC and Tuloy FC. And we've got our goal scorers as you see. There's the likes of Ibrahim Adamu and Kart Talarok. 2-0 at the moment as we mentioned. It's been Aguilas dictating this game, but it hasn't been them all the way in the first 45.
Yeah, Tuloy did have one or two good chances. I recall that long shot from Halike that tested Mangawang. So they've created some openings, half chances here and there. So at 2-0, Aguilas will be happy with the scoreline, but they'll be needing to keep a more concentrated second half in order to limit Tuloy if they are to keep a clean sheet. Antillo was also really busy for Tuloy on the other hand. So a lot of chances for Aguilas. I recall another chance where the post was struck. So it is an open game. I do imagine there are more goals in this game.
Aguilas, of course, stretching the defense, working on the left, working on the right, also through the middle. Isa Diallo, you could say, maybe the most active man, being a live wire on the wing, also getting in patiently here and there, showing his shiftiness and creativity.
Yeah, Isa Diallo and the likes of Adamu as well as Amita and Kart really testing the Tuloy back line. Unfortunately for the likes of Tuloy, they were unable to deal with those players in the first half, and that is why they are down 2-0. Let's see what type of adjustments both teams make in the second half. I believe there are substitutions getting ready in the technical area as we see the highlights from the first half. Mangawang had to make that really good save against Halike later in the first half. But here was, I believe this was the goal from Adamu. The finish was just too strong for Antillo, who made a lot of saves but wasn't able to get that one out.
And Michael Antillo Jr., definitely the busier keeper right here, had his work cut out. And then this one, Nano Amita, winning the free kick. Well, let's remember, he won that ball from the midfield, and it set up this.
Yeah, really good contribution there from Amita, and the free kick was excellent. That's why it became 2-0 as we see the two substitutions getting ready to come on for Aguilas as we confirm who will come on and who will come out. But it is first half that was really in favor of Aguilas in terms of shots on target, were both in favor of Aguilas. Possession quite even, as we do know both sides like to keep the ball on the ground. But nevertheless, it's Aguilas in the driver's seat.
There is that quality and quantity all going the way of Aguilas. And they will look to continue that energy and control from the first half. But Tuloy, of course, will try to flip the switch or just step up in terms of a few notches when it comes to intensity and control of the game. So our subs briefly check in. Ruben Tiran, the Malaysian, and Malik Xavier from Timor-Leste, also known as Kaka. Both national team players with their respective countries. And that sub becomes official right when we kick off the second half.
Yeah, always nice to see that PFL teams are able to attract high-quality foreign signings, especially if they're our ASEAN neighbors. Again, the likes of Ruben Tiran and Kaka, also not on the squad today, but the likes of Muzinho for Aguilas as we see kickoff.
Yes, that is Muzinho of Timor-Leste. He plays for Aguilas. He did play those 2 games against the Philippines, and he is being rested. He got some playing time actually in both games.
I believe he got an assist also in the home game of Timor-Leste in Darwin. So he is a really high quality player.
Chance from the get-go now. Just mere minutes in. 3-0, just like that. Instant impact for Kaka.
Well, in his first few touches after coming on as a halftime substitute, he makes it 3-0 to Aguilas, and at 3, you do imagine that puts this game really out of sight for Tuloy. But what about that finish? Too much power for Antillo, and what a moment there for the halftime substitute.
Let's take a look again.
Goal scored for Aguilas UMAK FC.
Really good finish there from the Timor-Leste player. I think that's also an assist for Ibrahim Adamu, who's now with a goal and an assist this afternoon. And Antillo there, near post, just too much for him to handle. And Tuloy now have a mountain to climb in the second half. It could get worse right now.
Are the floodgates going to open? We're going to find out. You have to be concerned because the 2 goals conceded by Tuloy, but you still have to credit the Aguilas. Near post.
Yeah, that's twice now that it's happened. And then the free kick was far post naman. But it's been 3 really good finishes from Aguilas. I think they'll be really happy with the fact that they've been clinical on that regard. At the moment for Tuloy, it could get worse if it continues. Again, they did have chances, but they're still scoreless at the moment. Can they maybe get a consolation or maybe even spark a comeback? But at the moment, it's Aguilas really in control.
Hancock got beaten there earlier, but Palpalatok secured at the back. How often do you say Hancock beaten in this game? You gotta love how Tuloy, giving their offense some life, got it forward aggressively. Free kick.
Well, what we do know from Tuloy is that even though they have lost 3 games this season, in their 4 games so far, they've scored in all but 1. And the one that they didn't score was a 2-0 loss to Stallions. So they are definitely a goal-scoring team. There is still time in the second half for them to get on the score sheet. Whether or not it would be enough to mount a comeback is another question. But you do want to say that if you're a Tuloy fan, you'd like to at least see them get on the board.
At least get one, of course. You never want to end the game being shut out, taken low. Did that come off a man? Came off a defender as confirmed by our assistant referee.
The corner now for Tuloy. Again, as we saw in the first half and in their game so far, they play all their corners short. Again, due to their height disadvantage, I think they'll do the same here.
But even if you play your corners short, because they are, of course, not the taller team, do we say, lugi pa ba sila, even if they play it short?
Well, there are still ways to get corners into the box through short, but it didn't work there. Here's Ruben Tiran.
Cutting inside. There's support on the left from Cart. Got to switch it to Aspiras. Forced to save.
Good involvement there from Aspiras, getting on the end of that move. But what about that pass from Ruben Tiran, crossing the attack to the other side?
That was a switch on the ground. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, as you were saying.
Yeah, it looked like he slipped, but still made the pass work. So good stuff there from Ruben Tiran, the Malaysian.
Oh, okay, I know what I'm doing. Hold on, right? In a situation like that.
I believe Ruben Tiran, 9 caps, no, for Malaysia.
That's right.
And some of that came in the 2022 AFF, so that's how high he's been in the Malaysian level. Played previously also with Selangor, which is a big club in Malaysia, before making the switch to the Philippine Football League. So good stuff and good scouting from Aguilas also to get a player of that quality.
Selangor, a team that gets to play in the AFC level, as we are aware. They actually did play against Cebu FC last calendar year. Kagrupo sila. Trevor here. Palpalatok putting the pressure, getting forward. That's the fullback.
Yeah, definitely one of the things that Aguilas like to do, have advanced fullbacks in their team as they win a throw-in here with that high pressure.
Nano was saying it came off an opponent. Split second. Saw it hit a Tuloy player and out. Palpalatok got beaten. Halike Playing it through the pull of the shirt from Hancock.
And he was the last man. What card is this going to be from the referee? He has a decision to make here.
Denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Yellow there issued by referee Meliton Pelayo. There are extreme instances where this can even be a red, as we are aware.
Yeah, you do see those. Those are one of those gray areas in football, whether or not that last man challenge should be a yellow or red. In the end, Meliton Pelayo goes with yellow. I think the thing that worked in Hancock's case was that the ball was actually overplayed by quite some distance, went straight to the goalkeeper, but he did make the foul in the end. That's why it's a free kick. Bit lucky there for Hancock. He has been really good in this match so far, but that was a moment of quite uncertainty there for the Australian. He will be hoping that for the rest of the match, he doesn't have a similar moment.
If my continuation of your count is correct, I think that's yellow card number 19 already. Aguilas have to be a top team in yellow cards given that statistic you mentioned.
Yeah, I think also kudos to our transfer mark buddies. They are the top team in yellow card counts, which is, I believe 19 in 5 games is a lot, but definitely something that could be improved upon. Again, it doesn't really cost you points in the end, but it is something that might cost you in future games.
It's going to hurt you. The suspensions, of course. Playing this one through, quite clever. Diaz stepped on the brakes. Saud. Naughty. Splendid control. Aren de Gracia. Not playing his usual fullback role. Play through Nunez. Went to Hancock. Oh, the high boot though from Nunez. He had the intention to play for the ball.
I think Aguilas are asking for a yellow here for Nunez.
Naughty sent his apologies to Hancock. You could see reading the mouth of Nathan. It's okay. It's okay.
Let's see the foul. I don't think there was much malice meant on it. He was going for the ball, which probably will be why it's not worthy of a yellow card. And possession back to Aguilas now. I think they'll be happy that in the opening 7 minutes of this half, Tuloy still haven't really been able to take full control. As another foul there from Diaz on Ruben Tiran.
This may be a warning already, issued by referee Meliton Pelayo.
Tuloy, only 1 yellow card so far this whole season. Although you imagine if there's more fouls like that, it could become 2 or 3. Nevertheless, though, Aguilas will be happy to get those fouls. It just slows the game down a little bit, and they won't mind given the luxury of their lead. Again, onus is now on Tuloy to take control of this matchup.
Maybe for the reference or for people new to the game, parang yung Aguilas yung mga bad boy dito. Given the yellow card. So, pull of the shirt again. Mangawang. Oh, got to disrupt the run right here. Saud left him with no angle.
Yeah, Mangawang, he doesn't get any touch on the ball, but I think his positioning and his aggression there to come out to the player just helped create that or get that goal kick. There was a little shirt pull here, but not enough for a foul. And I think that was actually a really big chance for Tuloy. But it wasn't taken yet again.
Everyone at the Rizal Memorial Stadium anticipating that one. Heroics though from Mangawang. He is chasing his second clean sheet.
Yeah, it would be a good thing for the goalkeeper. That didn't start the season actually. Started the season as the number 2, but it would be a good thing for him if he gets another clean sheet.
Mangawang, the local goalkeeper of Aguilas, Timoshi Shiraoka. The foreign goalkeeper of Aguilas, who is Japanese, is on the bench. Shiraoka, teammates with Kenji Nishoka, right? The Kanto Soccer League, I think for Edo All United.
Oh, excellent stuff from Asperas to keep possession in that area. And a nice grass cutter from Amita.
Duling ako doon, that's how good it was. Kaka, clever.
Well, you can just see when they're going forward, Aguilas have this freedom about them that allows them to create chances.
And they're also playing loose, given the scoreline, of course. It really helps you a lot mentally. Maybe taking some risks here and there, but you do not want to flirt with danger. As we got to see earlier, that chance from Pato Saud.
Aguilas with the control in this matchup. Again, you do say if there is a next goal, it looks just as likely to be another Aguilas one.
Of course, that's given the run of play or the way things are going. Flags raised though here. I wouldn't have count if they had managed to enter the goal.
Well, the coaching staff of Aguilas are saying that it came off a Tuloy challenge. And if that's the case, then technically it shouldn't be an offside. But of course, the linesman is the best position to see whether or not it was actually offside. It did look like it came off Nunez. So I must say, Aguilas will continue to protest that.
So a bit of the deflection or the ricochet. Coach, you saw in the technical area, Coach Fitch Arboleda. People may be wondering, sino yung kapangalan niya with Kaya FC Iloilo? So a good number of the brothers in the Arboleda family are named Fitch. It is Noni who plays for Kaya. Coach Han Han, who is the coach here of an assistant coach of Aguilas. Here comes out. He wants to make amends. Unselfish. But was that too unselfish?
Well, that was another big opening for Tuloy. You do imagine that they have to take some of this if there's going to be more. Because that was another big chance. But maybe the unselfishness getting the better of Tuloy there just makes it or keeps it scoreless for them. In the end, it's only a corner. It could have been much more for Tuloy.
Given those close chances, of course, nandun yung gigil sa Tuloy. That anxiousness. Rakoy trying to split the D. Hancock, as we know, a ball winner. Transition time they go. They try to play to Ruben Tiran. Dealt with well by Di Gracia.
Well, the clean sheet of Aguilas is going to be tested for these next few exchanges or so because Tuloy, while a comeback is going to be really tough, they do want to get on the score sheet at least because they are renowned for doing that in the PFL. Again, they lost to Digger and Maharlika, but they did still score. They were kept quiet by Stallion, but nevertheless, they are a positive offensive team. So they do want to get a goal in every game they play.
Maybe not the best thing to be proud of, but they spoil clean sheets, they score in losses. Still a small positive. But if you're scoring, of course, you're always looking back. What if we were able to get our act together as a team on defense?
Probably a little bit of signs of age there whenever you do see that sometimes their defense is a little bit vulnerable at times. Again, they're a team full of teenagers or early 20s players. That's how young they are. Probably even younger than your average university team. So it's good to see that they're already in the PFL. You do imagine that in 3 to 4 years' time, if this team does stay together, they'll be quite a force.
Tuloy did have an invitational where they actually got to play with college.
That's right.
They won the tournament. And with the way they were playing also. And when you look at the results, I continue to justify that they belong in the PFL.
Yeah, that's right. And not only did they play that Invitational Cup with their first team, I believe they also had the second team playing those games alongside their first team. So it's a good squad and good core for Tuloy to build on. Chance may be here though for Aguilas.
Very deep squad as this one is definitely out and about. But it's understandable again why the Aguilas are still chasing at least one more for the road, as we explained with goal difference.
Yeah, again, there are going to be 6 or 7, maybe even 8 really good teams all vying for the top 6 spot. So goal difference will matter if 2 teams are level. You do imagine it's a possibility that it's come into action later on in the season. Again, we have a lot of games and a lot of points to be shared. So goal difference, definitely something that the team should take advantage on, as there was a foul here on Nunez, just outstrengthed. Too much force there from Adamo. Actually, Nunez is still down for Tuloy. You do see their fouls on screen, quite even actually on that regard. Tuloy with one more than Aguilas.
Sometimes also there's those tactical fouls, as we are aware, right?
And definitely.
Delaying the attack when they're at the back, of course, so that the referee blows his whistle. Defense is able to set up in their formation. It's not Nunez still in pain.
Well, definitely not a promising sign if your captain is on the deck. If you're Tuloy, you do want him fit for all your matches going forward. Here was the third goal from Kaka, sponsored by our Quad Vision replay, brought to you by Upstream Sports. The power on this one, near post, just too much for the goalkeeper.
And going back with that also, yes, we were mentioning that Kaka is a Timor-Leste international. So there are two of them with Aguilas. Other than Kaka, his name of course Malik Xavier. There is also Mozinho. Only Mozinho was called up. Wala si Kaka dun, but he made the trip to New Clark City to support his national team. Maybe a goal there showing that, we're hoping that he got called up.
Of course, Timor-Leste will also play against Tajikistan, and for the Philippines' sake, let's hope they do us a favor. Maybe itong si Mozinho or Kaka could do us a favor also in that match.
Of course, next month, that is when the Asian Cup qualifiers final round will continue. The Philippines will travel to Maldives. Here comes Brian Palpalato, getting it to Ruben Tiran. Quite a dynamic duo now. They're able to connect automatically. The latter is fouled on the left.
Yeah, Halike with the late challenge. Ruben Tiran, that's now the second time he's bought a foul for his team. So it's more good footwork from the Malaysian. And again, another set piece from which Aguilas will try to score from. Again, they have the height advantage. The likes of Hancock, Boubacar Diallo will go up for this. Another chance. If the delivery is good, you imagine that it will be an Aguilas head that meets it.
You see, of course, the Timorese and the Malaysians. In case of Ruben Tiran, these guys playing in the PFL, young Filipino boys or Filipinos in general, get to play against them. That raises the level of play.
Yeah, of course, high quality transfers into the PFL helps.
Right-footed service from Palpalatok. Still in the danger area. Was headed by Richard. Handball, I believe, against the Aguilas. Going back, we also add there the Filipinos who were born overseas and learned football in the different countries around the world.
Of course, every high-quality player, no matter where they're from, when they do make their way to the PFL, it's good to see that they can help the level rise up a little bit.
I don't really say that wave, but there's a trickle of ASEAN players. Who are not Filipino, of course, but from outside. Play here in the PFL. The first being Nur Hidayat, if I'm correct also. He's from Indonesia. Aguilas did also get Indonesians last season, the likes of Xavier Zakaria. And now, of course, Kaka and Mozinho were the first Timorese to play in this very league. There was a sliding tackle. It's sent to safety by Hanan de Gracia. TULOY doing damage control.
The referee is gonna have to stop the game a little bit here. Aaron de Gracia is just holding his face.
May have gotten some infill in his eyes after making that slide. Just take that opportunity to wash it off. The turf here again, those who are wondering, is artificial. This is going to be a throw-in. It is from deep though. Here's the whistle. Brian Palpalato has already shown us before that he could take this one long based on the setup or the way he's winding up.
Yeah, he has a lot of tall targets to aim at. Adamo is coming short though.
And as he do that, he throws it short. Flag is raised though here.
I believe Palpalato stayed in an offside position following the throw-in, so it's back with TULOY. Nevertheless, it is good to have that long throw in the locker. Just adds a little bit of uncertainty to your opposition's defenses. Of course, Philippine football fans will be very familiar with players that can do those long throws. You have the likes of Anton Del Rosario in the past.
Jason Sabi, we could see the OGs.
That's right. Also have the likes of Lucero, Gian Caraig, who also have those in their locker.
Leo Makiling with Cebu, but
that's right.
I think we have not yet seen a Leo Makiling throw-in for Cebu FC.
Definitely a good weapon to have in football because it just causes chaos when attacking.
Absolutely. We've seen some memorable Philippine football goals off of long throws. Naughty combinations here. Even just being able to set it up like that is quite a feat already.
You can see there's a combination and there are patterns lined up for this TULOY team. While it is 3-0, you can see that it does create chances for them here and then. Let's see if they can actually take one in these remaining minutes in the second half.
It's not that I'm trying to sugarcoat things, but of course, the beauty of the game is what I'm trying to emphasize here.
Oh, good read from Hancock, and he's going to run into a striker's position.
Playing as if they're only up 1-0. You love the hustle and the effort. Kaka, did he get to blow by? Did that come off of Harim de Gracia? Roventiran to chase, but this was won. It was won by Tuloy. We have the shirt pull. Pato Saud. That was Denmark Oraco who won that earlier. Just breaks free on the right. Oh, Lopango taking a fall. Pato shoots. Oh, woodwork and in. Clean sheet denied.
Well, like they did against Manila Digger, it's another really good finish. No goalkeeper saving this one. And Mangawang stood on his feet, motionless, hits the crossbar and in. And what a goal that was to make it 3-1. Spoiled the clean sheet for Aguilas. Coach Frank will not be happy with that because it was a run from way downtown that eventually found its way into the penalty area. Bubakar Diallo unable to clear, and the finish is clinical.
Courtesy of number 7, CJ Tuloy.
Here you go again, our quad vision replay. Had to stop there. That's still quite a distance, come to think of it.
Yeah, it was a really good ball strike. Clean and concise from Cyril Saot. And at least, whatever happens now in this game, there is a small silver lining for Tuloy in the second half.
Here again, a look at our goal scorers. The most recent one, Malik Xavier, also known as Kaka. And there is Kart Talarok and Adamu. The 3 goal scorers for the moment for Aguilas, UMAK and Tuloy. If these young guns can get another one, that is going to blow the game wide open.
If you're Tuloy, you'll be saying that there is still some time to get the next goal. And if they do get the next goal, then anything can happen in the remaining moments of the match.
Another one though for the Aguilas will ice this game. But you could say momentum in limbo at the moment in this game.
Well, Aguilas have to be a little bit careful now. Maybe a little bit of uncertainty from that goal conceded. We just open things up for Tuloy.
Roventiran got it quickly to Aspiras. Charging up. Flag stays down. Oh, a collision here.
Oh, and a foul called against Adamu. Adamu and Harim de Gracia, I think both of them actually need treatment. So it was a 50-50 challenge.
It's not good for De Gracia from what I'm seeing off camera. It's an awkward fall for him. Oh, a collision. Legs getting tangled. Not essentially a challenge. Wrong place, wrong time here for the two.
Yeah, there's no malice in that collision from either side. Just a bit unfortunate for both that their legs got tangled with each other's. But I think both of them will be okay. I think Adamu received a little bit of that magic spray and he's back up on his feet now.
I initially thought it was a lot worse actually for Harim de Gracia. Glad that's not the case.
I think there was actually a yellow card also for Ibrahim Adamu. That's now their 20th, I believe, in this season. Yes, that's right. 20 yellow cards after 5 games for Aguilas.
Well, the thing with yellow cards that we were mentioning earlier, players accumulate them. They'll essentially serve a 1-game suspension. But there are times also where players would be put on the bench intentionally in hopes that they do not get another yellow card to preserve them for a bigger game. Yellow cards here. 3 for Aguilas, none for Tuloy. Long ball. Offside without a doubt.
Well, there's that offside trap again from the 2 center backs of Tuloy. Just allowing Adamu to stray offside. This might be another yellow card from referee Meliton Palayo. In the end, it's just a warning, I think. And play restarts.
Offsides for the moment. That shows the aggression of the Aguilas. It's Tuloy in white and gray. The Aguilas in red and blue. A big thank you again for joining us on the YouTube and Facebook pages of the Philippines Football League. Alongside Diego Cordero, this is Claro Manzano. On to the right with Saud. The Aguilas will be well in the top 6 hunt if they bag a result here. They're playing this one through. Ooh, Mangawang charging off, and this one sails over. A close one here.
Well, some uncertainty there from the back line of Aguilas. And that was a chance to halve the deficit for Tuloy. Let's see what happened here. I think Mangawang got the initial block, but there was no one on the goal line. Any shot on target probably would have gone in. So if you're Tuloy, you'll be saying, sayang.
See, there's the intention to press now. Booted by Mangawang. Tuloy lets this one just roll over to the side.
Well, in the last 20 minutes of this match, it's Tuloy who will have nothing to lose. So you do imagine that they will go for it, try to spark a comeback.
You're also playing with an extra sense of urgency. You could say, hey, it grabbed them a goal, a lifeline, but worst case, just a consolation.
Looks like actually to see out the last 20 minutes or so of this match, the coaching staff of Aguilas will be readying 1 or 2 substitutions, maybe just to re-establish some of that control and give some fresh legs onto the pitch.
Don't you forget also, we have the upcoming FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup right here in Metro Manila. Head to fifa.com/tickets for more information. Our challenge here, Ruben Tier wanted to play this one quickly over to Kaka. This cart on the ground, one of the Talarok brothers.
Well, here was the foul. And yeah, as you said, Ruventiran wanted to play quickly, but I think the referee just wanted the player on the deck to get back on his feet. I think Aguilas won't mind this though. They can take their time for the set piece, slow the game down a little bit, take that momentum from Tuloy and relieve it. And I think they'll be readying their substitutions also. And more magic spray also for, I think, both Amita and Cartalarok.
They've been logging in heavy minutes here for the Aguilas.
Yeah, 2 crucial players for the Aguilas. Again, you want to keep those players fit. They have a good run of games coming up. Their next game against Don Bosco Girelli. You do imagine that it's a chance for them to put some real effort into a top 6 finish.
Here's a free kick.
by number 2, Inigo Bongbong.
Ibrahim Adamu and Palpalatok out. Kira Yamamoto is in along with Jap Bongolan.
Well, as you did mention earlier, it is common for coaches to take off players on yellow cards, and the 2 substitutions of Aguilas were on yellow cards. So a little bit of safety there from Coach Frank Mescran and co.
Amita, we're slowing it down.
Yeah, Asperas just dropped into this center back position or quarterback position, if you want to put it in American football terms, just to control the game a little bit. Though it's given away yet again, though.
The attacking flair of the Aguilas just a bit lost. Miscue here from Tuloy. That's not often. Not so sure also if that was a nutmeg. Bongolan, first touch of the game. Bubakar. Couldn't get that to Ruventiran. Nunez getting tangled here with Talarok.
Well, there's now a lot of fouls from Tuloy, but still no yellow card. I imagine they're getting closer to picking up their first of this match. There was an obvious foul there, and I think, despite making the foul, Nunez has cramped up. Here was the foul. I think Nunez just piggybacking on his opposite player. He's back up on his feet now, though.
There's a lot of momentum behind him. But if this sticks, what's next for our 2 teams, of course, when it comes to momentum, you could say, or even tactics. But first, at the near post, collected easily by the keeper. Yeah, going back, of course. What's next, perhaps?
Well, there is not a lot of time now until full time for these 2 teams. For Aguilas, you'd imagine that there might be a chance here, actually.
The fall while coming up with the press. It's a yellow that is given to Jan Diaz.
Yeah, the 18-year-old there committing a late challenge. That's now Tuloy's first yellow card of this match, their second in the whole season. I think I can hear some people from the Aguilas fan group complaining that that should have been yellow card earlier pa. But in the end, it is a free kick to Aguilas. Another chance for them. Again, Bournemouth position in the first. If it's going to be a similar scenario here.
Will Talarok repeat his feat?
Do you imagine Antilio will be more careful now when organizing his wall, because that free kick earlier flew into the top corner.
Or do you get another player to take the shot?
A little bit of mind games now.
This one in the middle. Talarok steps away. And it is Amita and the Yamamoto. As we mentioned also, we have a game later on. Cebu versus Manila Digger. Yamamoto! Top corner!
Well, the Japanese midfielder off the bench. And what an impact that is. No chance once again for the goalkeeper like they did in the first half. It's a free kick into the top corner. Left-footed strike. What a goal that was. I think that might also just put the game to bed for Tuloy. That is...
It just removes the wind out of the sails. Here's a look once more with quad vision replay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Antilio was that full diving stretch and he was nowhere near it. That's how good the free kick was.
Spectacular technique. Credit na Amita there. Four goals now. Talarok, Ibrahim Adamu, Kira Yamamoto, and Kaka. The goal scorers here for the Aguilas. It's sidle south for the lone Tuloy goal. What appears to be a consolation. Never from Ruben Tiran. Fullback jump the ball in forward. Talarok getting it. A slide once more. A player down for Tuloy. Harry de Gracia shaken up once more in that area of the pitch. It's been a tough evening for him.
It has. And it's been especially tough because he's had to deal with a lot of Aguilas players. It's not like all the goals have come from one source. Again, 4 different goal scorers. And Aguilas will be really happy with that. Means they're not relying on just one focal point in attack, but instead they're relying on their whole team.
But with that, Ibrahim Adamu, the goal scorer, as we pointed out, or the top goal scorer. Hat-trick versus Army. A goal for him now. And his tally is up to 4. Ten minutes and change remaining right here. It's back with Oracoy. Nunez, it was loose.
I think you also have to give credit to the Aguilas coaching staff because it's a substitution that, it's actually 2 substitutions for the 2 second half goals. So another good chess move there from Coach Frank Mescan.
We were highlighting, yes, right before the changes were made, or these changes were made to recontrol the game because it was going the way of Tuloy essentially.
Yeah, that's right. There was just a 5 or 10 minute spell in the second half where Tuloy creating chances, but good from Aguilas that they've reestablished their foothold on this game.
They got to release it on time. Mongolan, champion with UP in the UAP football level. That's the college or university ranks. Ventura got to release that. Kaka! Oh my goodness! Spectacular!
2 goals from the substitute, but what about the assist from Ruben Tiran? Looked like a lost cause, but he dug out the cross straight to Kaka in that finish. Once again, Antillo was absolutely helpless because it flew into the top corner, and it's now turning into a really good performance from Aguilas. 5 goals.
The Malaysia Timor-Leste connection, making it work for the Aguilas.
Well, Kaka doesn't have a lot of backlift, but he generates such precision and power, and absolutely no hope there for Antillo. That's now 5 goals that he's had to concede, unfortunately for him. But what about this performance from Aguilas? Again, there was a moment in the second half where you thought it might just get away from them, but they've responded perfectly.
It's that bench here not getting the job done, I'm trying to say, but working wonders to re-control this game.
Yeah, 3 goals off the bench for Aguilas. They'll be very happy with the fact that their whole squad is contributing. It's not just a starting 11. And again, you're going to need that this season with a lot of games. You need a strong 23 or 24 players, not just a strong 11. And Aguilas are showing it here.
Your starters essentially establish things, and then your bench, of course, will just ensure that you see things through smoothly and take any momentum away from the opposing side. And that's exactly what the Aguilas are able to do.
Yeah, Tuloy on the other hand, you can just see it in their body language. A little bit stunned from the last 10 minutes or so. 2 knockout blows close to each other against Tuloy. And that is why the control of this match is purely in Aguilas' favor. There's going to be another sub actually for Aguilas, so they're going to continue to use their bench.
With that goal also earlier, it's a brace for Kaka. The likes of Cart calling for it. Almost another one though. The crowd anticipating that one. Yamamoto wanted to join the goal scorers with more than 1 in this game.
Yeah, they're brimming with confidence now. Itong Aguilas UMAK FC. There is only a substitution though. It's Asperas coming off. I think he's run a lot of distance this evening. That's why he'll come off. He's actually on the ground. Itong si Diego Asperas, which might be a little bit concerning because he is one of their high performers this evening.
And what you're seeing though, it appears to be cramps. Miggy Clarino is going to enter.
Again, just speaking on Diego Asperas, he is back on his feet. By the way, itong si Diego Asperas will be definitely thinking about that SEA Games squad that comes later this year and whatever else youth squad is called up in the future because he is eligible for those squads. Still a young player, itong si Diego Asperas, of course, formerly with the Ateneo Blue Eagles, if I'm not mistaken.
He'd have a stint before opting to grow, or he almost did suit up actually in the UAP before opting to play in the PFL level. Quite a challenge actually to jump straight to the pros. Some are able to pull it off. Diego Asperas had quite a performance today.
Diego Asperas is replaced by number 12,
Yeah, Diego Aspiras, I think I read somewhere that his favorite player was Sergio Busquets. You can definitely see that's how he emulates his game. So it's a good performance from him.
Aguilas just swarming Tuloy now. What's the call here though? It's a foul, but oh, it will go the direction of Aguilas.
It's going to be another free kick. We know what happened from the last one. This one quite some way out though. Could be a cross on the cards for Aguilas.
And with my calculation also right here, Aguilas and number 4, edging Maharlika on goal difference. This is what we were talking about with the tiebreakers.
Yeah, after losing their opening 2 games, I think Aguilas will be really happy with the way they responded to that. And they're now making their way up the league table.
The rankings I mentioned, of course, are live by my calculations. That lob from Amita was denied.
And just on the league table, again, it is a really long season, but as much as possible, you want to make as much headway as possible early on. And Aguilas are doing just that. Oh! Advantage played by the referee.
Again, it's a double round robin here. Teams will get to play each other twice. And then in the third round, top 6 will play a single round robin amongst themselves with results carrying over. Top ranked team right there again will be crowned champion. They will get a spot in the qualifying playoff of the AFC Champions League 2. They will also get to play in next season's Shopee Cup. Number 2, as this is played through. Lupango. Slowing down. Halike, a touch. It's off front of the goal.
With that 5-1 down, there's no way back in this game for Tuloy. But that could have been another good goal for Halike, and I think he's cramping up actually after that. But that was a big chance for Tuloy. Here is the replay. Halike going for far post. Mangawang nowhere near that far post. But he is lucky that it did go wide, so it stays at 1 for Tuloy.
Hancock full of adrenaline. What an offside there. Mangawang taking a sweet time. Unfortunately for him, it's not a clean sheet. Unfortunately for him in the defense, that of course being one of the objectives to add to a win. Pongolan playing in the middle.
Oh, good footwork.
Oh, wanted to send it past Denmark Orakoy. We'll play it quickly now. And it's expected that the bench of Aguilas or the substitutes who entered are bringing this type of energy. But this is a different level that they are bringing.
Yeah, definitely, and it's good to have competition in your squad. That's what we see here from Aguilas. Here's Kaka.
Taking it. He was within Kaka distance, we will say.
He's on a hat trick also.
It was stopped here. Tuloy will get out slowly but surely. Things just not working out, so they had to boot it long. It's just been that quite of a performance for Babukar Diallo. Now he'll try to get up with Richard Talarok dropping back as this ball for Jap Bangolan rolled aside. Later on again, Manila Digger and Cebu FC will clash.
Wow, match that's going to be.
2 teams at the PFL actually who are playing at the international level.
Right.
Cebu playing in the Shopee Cup. Manila Digger set to play in the AFC Challenge League that is later this month. They will be traveling to Cambodia. And it's just a single round robin as Halike whipped it in. That's gotta hurt for Lupango because he's had a number of chances already to get one on the board. He's been listless today.
Yeah, and Halike will be quite frustrated here because it's a really good cross. Any touch on target probably puts it into the back of the net. In the end, Mangawang will be happy that no touch was made. Actually, Tuloy in the second half did create quite a few chances. In the end, they were only able to take 1. So they'll be hoping to be more clinical, especially in their next game because it is a tough match. They are going to be up against Cebu, and that is not an easy fixture. Oh,
Kaka again. Is he gonna make this a hat trick? Unselfish. perhaps too unselfish also. Not the first time we've seen something like that. Tuloy had a similar situation, but you gotta credit the defense here of Tuloy.
Yeah, Kaka, this time turning provider for Ruben who gave him the assist for the last goal. But in the end, he might have been better off going for goal himself. What a challenge to deny Ruben of his cameo goal off the bench.
Unselfish there. Maybe at the wrong time, just going back. Would have been a hat-trick, right?
Still has a few minutes to get that hat-trick, of course. Tong si Kaka.
Goal difference again. A factor should there be any tiebreakers and points. That's more of the long game, right? When we really factor in goal difference in the end of the season. This will be a corner kick. They took their time in whipping that in. Hancock off target. We got to see again 5 minutes of additional time. Timothy De Castro confirmed earlier. We are about a minute and 20 seconds in. Alike getting beaten. Nunez. They're playing that through, but Clarino sent it back a few meters. John Lloyd gets clipped by Yamamoto.
Good footwork there from Halike. Wins the free kick. Give you a chance to make the scoreline just a little bit more respectable for Tuloy. And not a lot of time left for them to get another consolation.
The positive here for Tuloy was that there was a good 15-20 minutes where they were really playing their game in the second half.
Of course, and they did create quite a few high-quality chances. So on another day, the scoreline might be slightly different. And they're going to need to up their clinical finishing if they are to continue to pick up points this season.
Things were actually even in the first 30 minutes in this game. This one from distance, but a chance to go for goal. They shoot. Oof. Oh, Mangawang got to die right way, but tough target.
Yeah, Mangawang scrambling across his goal line. In the end, the shot is off target, so that will stay at only one for Tuloy.
South would have loved to double his goal-scoring tally today in this game. Aguilas unable to connect here off of the goal kick. Ruben Thiran. So may have been advantage. Kaka hits it to the wing. Yamamoto will get his man to dance. Came off a Tuloy defender. Orakoy sent it to the middle though. And it was put into play for the moment by Richard Talarok. Hence there's chaos in the middle. You also have to credit John Lloyd Halike. Starting up front, drops down, places that false nine, that extra midfielder.
Halike loves to get involved. That's an obvious foul from Ruben Thiran.
We saw there was the intentional hold from Ruben Thiran. Not sure what was on his mind. Then Marco Racoy giving a bit of a push.
One assist for Ruben Thiran off the bench, so it's been a good cameo from him. Nearly got a goal also.
This one into the goalkeeper area. Mangawang beaten. Oh, and there, Lupango gets the goal that he was looking for.
Well, Tuloy, there you have it, making the scoreline just a little bit more respectable in their favor. Mangawang conceding his second of this match. Came out to meet that ball, but there was good running from Lupango to get on it first. And the finish was clinical. I think he also Hancock racing back to the goal line. Nevertheless, finish for Tuloy.
Number 11, Justin Lupango.
There is the quad vision replay. It's actually a really good first touch to take it around Mangawang. And then Hancock trying his best but unable to reach that finish.
There you go. Toy bagging goals and loss. But not really a feat you want to take with you. Because there's the what ifs for them. It's a performance you're not really able to translate to a win, but it is eventually full time. Aguilas UMAK 5, Tuloy FC 2 at the death. Quite a game here, but it ended up with Aguilas just taking the driver's seat of this one.
Yeah, the neutral who were watching this game probably would have been really entertained. But in the end, it was a really good performance from Aguilas UMAK FC. 2 goals conceded, not ideal for them, but 5 on their end, and they'll be really happy with that. And they shoot up the table now going into the busy part of the 2025-26 PFL season.
Here we go, a look at the scorers, of course. And Malik Xavier the way with 2. There you go, 4 Tuloy FC. Lupango and Saud, a goal each here. Of course, something that they get to take away. That does it for this game. It's Aguilas UMAK FC 5, Tuloy FC 2. Manzano. The commentary for this game. Look at the highlights.
Yeah, here was one of Kaka's goals. Right after halftime, he was a halftime substitution, and there he was right away making an impact. That was his first goal. Again, Tuloy would go on to score 1 in the second half, and this made it just a little bit uncertain for a small period in the second half. It was Cyril Saud with the finish off the woodwork and in, but then unable to build on that because after this it was still Aguilas who scored. Here was the free kick goal from Yamamoto into the top corner, and what a free kick that was.
A lovely display there of camaraderie from the team. Here was that finish.
Yeah, really good finish from Kaka. Here was the last minute consolation from Tuloy. Lupango reaching that ball before the goalkeeper and Hancock, and that's why it became 5-2 at the last possible moment. But nevertheless, Aguilas will be really pleased with today's performance.
And there you go, confirmation once more of the score, 5-2. We'll sign off and we will take you, of course, to the pitch for our post-game interview.
Yeah, I'm happy for this winning because we follow the coach's instruction. So I come for second half and I do what coach say. So I scored 2 goals and yeah, we win this game. So we got 3 points, go back home. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy and thank you for the coach, especially my family, and Mouzinho is up there, my teammate, national team. So I'm happy because they all here. So thank you for supporting me.